Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. The time is 1:01 p.m. This is a special meeting to continue our fiscal year 22 budget review featuring our district court with Carlene. Welcome, Carlene.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
And officially calling the meeting to order, Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios present. And so off we go with the review of the fiscal 22 district court budget, and I assume there are no changes to the agenda?
Nope.
Hearing none. Carlene, it's all yours.
Thank you, Commissioners. Again, Carlene Behringer, Trial Court Administrator for the record. Today I'm here to present our budget to you, and I'd like to start off with speaking about the positions that I'm requesting be filled. I have 3 positions this year. The first is a Deputy Court Administrator, the second is a Bailiff, and the third is a Family Court Services Administrative Secretary. Just for your information, the Administrative Secretary is already employed by the county as a part-time position. We'd like to take that to a full-time position. And the Deputy Court Administrator position has received a preliminary desk score audit from Kootenai County HR and has been classified as a grade 11. So I'll start with that position just to give you a little background. Right now, I have an assistant that works in my office. Her name is Jamie Robb, and her job title is Assistant to the Trial Court Administrator. We do not have a formal Deputy Court Administrator, although in my opinion, she's doing the work of both positions. A Deputy Trial Court Administrator is a person who assists in the performance of executive, administrative, and management functions of the Trial Court Administrator's office. This person works under the general and direct supervision of the Trial Court Administrator and may serve as the acting TCA when the Trial Court Administrator is absent. They are required to do the day-to-day supervision of the daily operations of the court and may also be assigned to other matters. The key points that I would like to discuss in support of this position is, again, like I said, the current assistant is currently performing many tasks of a Deputy Court Administrator. The workload is too extensive for one staff member. It's requiring many hours, not only in the workday, but also after hours and on the weekends. It's really one person wearing 2 hats. My current assistant, Jamie Robb, has become the manager and a trainer for many of high-level projects. During fiscal 2021, her duties expanded to include coordinating and training 36 judges, 15 senior judges, 7 resident district judges, 14 resident magistrate judges, 7 court reporters, multiple deputy clerks, and other staff members. Again, this is not part of the assistant's position. This is really part of a Deputy Trial Court Administrator position. Another thing that has blossomed quite a bit is our language access and interpreter coordination. It's just increased substantially because of the increase in population and the needs for different languages. Obtaining a certified interpreter, managing the case, and ensuring that accurate and timely invoices have been submitted to the court system have become a regular full-time function for my assistant. And as a result, just the supervision of all the interpretation services that are needed have kind of fallen under her umbrella. So due to the growth of the court system and the demands of my office, there have been many times when the assistant has attended meetings on my behalf when I'm not here. I'm either in Wallace, Bonners Ferry, St. Mary's, or Sandpoint, or Boise, or just attending a meeting locally. She has stepped in on my behalf for budget meetings. She stepped in my behalf when we're meeting with other justice partners. She's helped formulate new case management techniques. She's developed court calendars and redeveloped court calendars, and has pretty much been my right hand, my right arm, I should say. And as much as I appreciate that, I know the time has come where there really needs to be another person that is able to make management decisions in my absence. One of the other things that has really come to fruition, especially during COVID, we've had an influx of new technology and equipment, and my current assistant has deployed the new technology and all the hardware, all the equipment for the entire court system and our justice partners. This has been anything from managing and training staff to installation of the equipment itself. We're very lucky to have brand new equipment from the Supreme Court to help us with remote hearings, and she has installed all of that equipment for us and been the conduit between the court system and the Idaho Supreme Court. And that's been very helpful to us. She's helped with teaching everybody how to do live streaming for the bigger cases that we need to open up to the public, and has been a regular face at the fairgrounds, helping the judges set up all that, and the clerks, making sure everything's running there, making sure all the proceedings are being recorded. So she's been involved in the setup and the taking down of all the equipment each time we're out there. So she's just been an integral part of my office. And again, as I appreciate her more than I can ever say, it's really time to have 2 new positions.
So let me take you back for a moment. Okay, so how many new positions did you say? 3?
3.
And okay, so one is a deputy
Deputy court administrator,
Go
one's a
ahead.
bailiff,
Bailiff?
and then one is the administrative secretary for family court services.
Which is just going from part-time to
Part-time to
full-time, so it's
full-time.
really a half position.
Right. So the deputy court administrator and the bailiff are 2 brand-new full-time positions.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
And
Does
then
anybody have any questions about the deputy?
I have a question. I can't really see Dina. It looks like Dina might have a question too. It says up here COLA. So is COLA included? Did you include a COLA in? I mean, they put their personnel numbers in, right?
This exact position has not been included in the printout that Dina gave us because HR was still reviewing it.
Okay.
So in regards to the Jamie Robb position, we just received grading today. So that is not included in the budget right now. That would have to be calculated and added. So what we have right now in the budget for new positions is 1 new bailiff with onboarding and a conversion from part-time to full-time secretary for trial court services.
Okay, so the additional $411,000 over last year does not include that new position.
No.
Okay.
And which new position is that, the deputy court?
The
Yes.
deputy court trial court administrator.
Okay.
I just see COLA at the very top line, so that's why I was wondering. I'm using this snapshot.
That's giving you an idea of what has changed from year over year. So last year, you had COLA that was sitting in there.
Gotcha.
And this year, it's gonna be reflected in this year's budget dollars,
Okay,
because it carried forward.
okay. So I just wanted to make sure that, yeah, so,
It's not including any additional.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay, our next position that we are requesting is a new bailiff. And as I'm sure you all know, they maintain the security and the safety and the neutrality and integrity and confidentiality of the court system, and prevents any potential life-threatening activities towards the judges, court personnel, jurors, witnesses, defendants, prisoners, members of the public, and maintains order in the courtrooms and the admin buildings and also common areas. Some of the key points I'd just like to mention to the commissioners follow. If you recall, we did add 2 new magistrates, full-time magistrates in Kootenai County in October, and then we also have a brand-new district judge who is a resident judge in Sandpoint, Judge Breeze, but he does come down to assist with cases 1 week out of the month for Kootenai County. So that's another addition. He started January 2021. And when we did have our 2021 deliberations, a new bailiff was scheduled to begin in June of 2021, but then we had some budgetary constraints, so that position was never filled.
Okay.
And again, I know this sounds like a broken record, and I know you're going to hear it a million times from every department, but again, due to the county's, population explosion, our caseloads are continuing to increase, and they will increase. So as a result, there will be an increase in, litigants and members of the public coming to the courthouse. There will also be, unfortunately, an increase in violent offenders, which requires a lot of security from the bailiffs. So that is something that we'd like to really focus on and keep a very high level of security so everybody is safe when they're in the courthouse and on the grounds. One of the things that we've struggled with since we were out at the fairgrounds conducting felony jury selection, there's just been so many restrictions placed on us that we've had to double the manpower out at the fairgrounds, which means we had to take bailiffs from the main campus. So right now, we're very shorthanded on the main campus. Also, many of the bailiffs are providing security and managing the remote kiosk systems we have, which allow people to do remote hearings. They're also doing, helping with in-custody hearings in courtroom 12, which is located out the jail. So as a result, again, we don't have an adequate amount of bailiffs on the main campus when they're working somewhere else. So the bailiffs need assistance in providing security, assisting patrons with the kiosk, and also completing jury commission tasks. So they're not just wearing a bailiff hat, they're also, again, helping with the jury commissioner, making sure all the summonses are sent out, and then making sure everything's set. So when we do have our juries report, we're ready to do that as well. When the Idaho Supreme Court removes the COVID restrictions that are placed on district court, we anticipate that the bailiffs will be escorting 100 prisoners a week to their court hearings and trials, and that will be on the main campus. Again, just escorting prisoners back and forth will deplete the manpower and leave the bailiffs very short-handed, because you have to have not just one, maybe 2 to 3 bailiffs when the sheriff's vans pull in, so you can escort the inmates to the specific courtrooms that they're going to.
Carlene, how many do we escort weekly now?
Well, right now, since we're doing most things remotely, it's been a little different.
Okay.
If a attorney requests a hearing in person, that individual, that inmate will be seen in court. Also, if you are facing a prison sentence or a life sentence, you will be seen in court to make sure that you're there to start serving your sentence. So we're still not at full capacity with bringing prisoners in.
So how many of those appearances now, even remotely, are you conducting? Because you're saying that, you know, once the restrictions are removed, they're going to be escorting about 100 a week to the courthouse. I know you're not escorting them today, so you're doing.
We're doing everything through Zoom, remotely.
But is it around that same number, or is it 80, is it 90, do you have any idea?
It's probably around the same number.
Okay.
What's happening is, again, they're spending a lot of time out at the jail, so they're bringing inmates into Court in 12, and they're hearing things there.
From there.
The judges are also hearing cases from the Department of Corrections, like retained jurisdictions and those matters. They all have a schedule set up, so they all appear remotely with the Department of Corrections. The juvenile matters, some are held in person, some are held remotely as well, using Zoom. So you're still doing the same amount, maybe a little less, but it's taking longer, because Zoom just takes longer than being in person. You're also losing that personal contact with the judge and witnesses and things of that nature.
Fair enough.
But it's a full docket, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Any questions about the bailiffs? Okay.
Keep going.
I'll move on to our last personnel request, and that's our Family Court Services Administrative Secretary. As I mentioned, there's already a person that does that work part-time. She's fabulous. And she works under the direction of the Administrative District Judge and myself, but reports to our Family Court Services Director, Janet Meserve. And it's another position that, you have extensive contacts with the public, and, you're helping a significant amount of self-represented litigants. Some of the key points that I'd like to talk about is just kind of focus on why we really think we need to change from part-time to full-time. It's one of these things where we built it and they came. Everybody wants to see this person, and sorry, she's only here 20 hours a week, and we would like to have that person there 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, to assist the public. She is our contact person, our first face of the court when people come in, and she handles a lot of different matters, but concentrates a lot on child support calculations.
Take your time, it's fine.
The pollen's killing me. Goodness. So she helps with family court services, she helps with court assistance, she helps with guardianship and conservator cases, and she also helps with domestic violence cases. That's all those folks that are under that family court services umbrella. We believe that if she was full-time, the services to the public would be quicker. They wouldn't have to wait. We could service more people. They'd be more consistent. Again, with the population going up, we've seen a real rise in self-represented litigants, especially in family law cases. So that's why we think it would be really important for her to be there full-time. Another thing we'd like to do is add another Zoom workshop for litigants. Sorry. when people are going through divorces, they're required, or they are, it's highly suggested that they go to the Focus on the Children workshop so they can try to come up with a parenting plan. So that has become something that has increased, and we'd like to offer a second class for that too, just to meet the needs of the people that need or want that class.
Okay.
In addition to that, if she was full-time, we would also be able to assist parties with their paperwork. One of the things that happens is when you are a self-represented litigant, you don't have that luxury of an attorney or an attorney's assistant, compiling all your paperwork and making sure that you have what you need and all the forms and all that jazz. And a lot of times it's unorganized or incomplete. They wind up going over to the clerk's office, ask them for help, or they just show up to a courtroom or submit it and it's not complete, and then everything has to be kicked back and you have to start again. We had that person there full-time. That person can make sure that those forms were in the appropriate order for the court, and then we could bypass the clerk's office and they could just go straight forward. And that's about it. We just think, the biggest thing that we're really concentrating on, that we would be able to service more people in a short period of time.
So when you say she assists, this is the administrative secretary, assists self-litigants, are there many?
Yes.
So presumably folks who cannot afford an attorney, is that it?
Exactly. There's a lot of folks that can't afford an attorney in divorce cases. That's the majority of it. Custody cases,
Okay, yeah.
things of that nature. There might be some other things like small claims or maybe a landlord-tenant situation. We typically concentrate on family law.
Okay.
There may be situations where they need their child support calculated, or there may be a situation where they would like to visit with their child, but maybe there's a court order that says you need to have supervised visitation, so they would find that for them, things of that nature. Or maybe they need some direct services, their family members, on how to coexist and co-parent.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Take one more drink of water. Sorry. Wait, this is a bad one today.
It's okay, take your time.
Okay. In addition to the personnel that we've asked for, we do have another request that is a big ticket item, and that is the Motorola radios that we've requested for the bailiff's office. The current radios they have are obsolete. We've spoken to the sheriff's office, and there will come a day that when they will not be working any longer. They will not function. So we'd like to replace those so we can have communication with other law enforcement agencies.
Carlene, do you know, did you get a quote from, you have this number because you got an actual quote?
Yes, I got a quote from, we asked Colin McRoy from the Sheriff's Department to work with us, and we got a quote from Motorola Solutions.
Okay,
And that's the vendor that they use.
okay. And you did not get a quote for Kenwood radios?
No.
Okay,
How much are they? Do you know?
80,000.
They're,
Okay, because I don't have.
the entire bill is
80?
100,000.
Oh, right, you don't have this sheet. Yeah.
100, okay.
I actually have it here. Yep. So 28 radios at $36.02 apiece is $100,856.
Thank you.
The second item that we've requested are the yearly TASER certification and supplies for the bailiff's office. And that was $2,500 and change. And then the other item that we asked for were, again, for the bailiff's office, it was ammo targets and range fees, so they could be qualified. They qualify twice a year to make sure they're able to perform their job.
And that was how much?
That is $4,249, and that's a yearly fee.
Okay.
Do you have any
Oh,
other
you're done?
questions? Oh, do you have any other questions? I just wondered if you had any, I thought you were looking at
I'm
something.
things up.
No, there are other items that we asked for, travel and training and things of that nature. I just didn't know if you had any questions or if you wanted to.
Who pays for your travel?
For my travel personally? Okay, it depends. So in the past, it's been a mix. It's been, I would say the majority of it is Kootenai County and Bonner County and the state. More recently, now I went on a trip right before COVID, and that was the state. If there's something that the county wants me to pursue and look at, for example, like Veterans Court or something of that nature, maybe a new way to operate a jury system, typically that county will send me. Sometimes if they want to send a team to look at something, we had something come up in Bonner County one time with drug court. There was a couple of us that went as a team. So it just depends on the situation.
So something we didn't cover earlier, can you just double check that it's not triple accounted for for that one conference? There's one conference that you're sending your specialty court to. Just make sure, it seems like it was triple accounted for. So just go back and make sure that it's only one, only accounted for once, if that makes sense. Three
So-
people going to one conference.
So
It looks like it's an oversight.
Oh, okay. Because the DUI court, the drug court, and the mental health court each send 3 people.
Okay, so there is 9 going then.
9,
And that's all 9 from Kootenai County?
correct.
Okay.
So you would send like the coordinator, maybe the prosecutor and the public defender, or a treatment provider, part of their staffing, part of their team.
Okay, but that's in your budget? You pay for prosecutor people?
Because they're part of that drug court team or that
Okay,
DUI team.
okay.
And keep in mind too, the specialty court, drug court, mental health court, those are all self-funded.
By fees?
Yes.
Okay.
So only the ops budget is what needs to be balanced. Those other 3 are taken care of through fees.
Okay, and I see that it looks like there's going to be about $163,000 in increased revenue projected for next year.
So if you don't mind, Carlene, I had just printed a quick worksheet just to kind of see what the highlights were. So new revenue, I think it was 2 years ago, the state liquor apportionment now gives directly to district court, and that wasn't added in at the outset. So that's $210,000 in revenue that's coming in. And then, of course, the 3 positions, we'll add the new position into the budget, and we'll update the summaries and send those to you because we just got that grading today from HR. And then the only other highlights I'm seeing, of course, is the radios. There was an increase for some phones. Was there a rework on the phones?
That line item covers, your basic telephone and then a cell phone and a hotspot, but also all of the headsets and equipment that the clerk's office needs.
Right, so it looks like there was a little bit of an increase. It's not huge, but it was one where there was a big difference.
Okay.
Again, the radios, and then just a very small amount for some carpet in Judge Meyer's office. Year over year, it looks like expenses are up at about 11%.
So for the carpet in Judge Meyer's office, can that be used, district court funds, that kind of savings account to upgrade courtrooms?
The Justice Fund?
I guess so.
It can be. Greg had just asked if I had the money to pay for it, and I said, yes, I do,
Okay,
just to get it done, yeah.
We can allocate that restricted district court fund balance for that, if you would
Okay.
like.
sure. I'm sure it's not much, like you said, but,
It's like $1,600,
okay.
but I can mark that.
Okay, and then you'll get back to us about if there is state money to pay for some of these items
Yes.
by the end of the year.
Yes, the state contacted the trial court administrators and say there might be some end-of-the-year money. So all, the deputy trial court administrator position and the travel and the radios, I submitted that to them to see if they would help us with that. And I should know by June 30th, that's the end of the year. I'm hoping sooner. I'm
Okay.
thinking maybe mid-June.
Would that all be one-time costs, though, or you put in for ongoing costs as well?
That's one time because they just
Okay.
have this end-of-the-year money.
Right.
I don't, just happened to appear, you know, out of another bucket. So yeah,
Okay.
it's just a one-time.
Okay.
So just in general, on travel and phone, how do you compare year over year this year to what you're requesting to last year?
I'm sorry.
How do you compare on your expenses for traveling and phone this year compared to last year?
The phone, you know, the only thing that has really gone up are the headsets and the equipment for the clerk's office. And we did have to purchase a couple more phones. Right now, just phones on the desks themselves, we have a phone for everybody. The more we increase staff, then they're gonna have phones, and they're a little expensive.
This includes cell phones?
No, we just have the one cell phone for our court assistance officer, and we have the hotspot we use at the hospital. So there's no increase in that. That'll remain the same. No one else has a county.
Okay.
If
And
we
then
look at-
travel in general?
And the travel in general, you know, it's just, you know, there's increases in you know, airline tickets and things of that nature. I know there was one year that mental health didn't put in for travel, but basically it's pretty much the same thing I've asked for every year. I do ask, and I think it's most important that Marissa and I, we each have funds to send the deputy clerks to the Idaho Institute of Court Management every year, and they will be holding that in October. And so I always have a couple spots in there for that. And then my court assistance officer and my family court services officer always go to their annual conference to see what's new and what they can learn and bring back to us, and that's been really beneficial.
Do they share that with the other counties they serve?
There's 2 conferences a year, so they do one here and one there, one in Bonner. They do not typically take from Benawat, Shoshone, or Bonners Ferry.
Just in general, year over year, travel expenses actually went down. So, like we talked before the other day, groups really dug into their budgets and put in what they needed. So last year's travel and professional development was 38,002, and this is just ops, this isn't the self-funded. And this year it's 37,124, so it's down slightly.
And it depends on too, like what city they're holding the conference in. Some of the hotels are ridiculously expensive. Other places are more manageable. So try to manage for that as well.
Okay. Any other questions for Carleen?
No, just let us know as soon as you know about if some of those costs can go away, and then I'll be meeting with HR and talking about the other position and doing that. Yeah, at this point, I think I told you before, like our raises plus our new asks for bodies aren't gonna make it. But I definitely understand the need for the bailiff and then the other part-time position. So we'll just go forward and see what happens.
All right. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Carleen, appreciate it. Bill, no further questions?
Nope.
I'm fine, Carleen. Public comment? Hearing none. 1:30, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.